All right, what's up, everybody? We're officially starting our group chat. Glad to see everybody here. And on this group chat, I want to show you guys how I was able to save up money quickly in this business to go from having not a lot of money. I started this business with only $300 and saved up to close to $5,000 my first 30, 40 days in this business. I recently, before starting this group chat, messed up and everybody's busting on me in the chat, so I'm laughing. So I'm going to kind of break down the guide on what I did in order to save up some money quickly, because I think it's important to have a cushion in this business and have money to flip phones. I think the more money that you can have saved up, the more money that you can make. So sounds like a simple concept, but I see a lot of new members that struggle sometimes with saving the money. And what I'd like to ask you guys, what do you think is the biggest thing that stops you from saving money right now in this business? Is it that you aren't getting enough phones? Is it that, would you say poor money management? Is it PayPal holds? Give me your number one objection right now for building up a cash pool. Asher says not enough funds in PayPal holds. Clay says PayPal holds and returns. Jesus says poor money management. Grant says not enough phones yet. Taylor says my buddy wants me to play it tonight. Lisa says not buying enough phones. June says shiny new objects. Tyler says not enough phones. Need more leads. I'm hooked. Okay, so it sounds like a lot of you guys are having a hard time building up to $5,000 just because you're not getting enough phones. All right, is that about correct? Okay, so let's talk about this. How many people here spend any of their money that they make from flipping phones? And be honest with me, guys. Who here spends some of the money that they make? Don't feel free. The more honest you guys are with me, the better I'll be able to help you out. So Asher says me, Grant says me, Eric says of course, Jesus says me, Clay says yes. Okay. So this is probably one of the biggest problems. Let me just share my screen for a second here. Okay. I think one of the biggest problems is overhead. So first, I would say, guys, if you can, how many people here have a job and are phone flipping? Does anybody here not have a job and is trying to do phone flipping with a little bit of money? Kevin says not Mo. Yes. Zach says yes. Asher says me. Yes. Job. Okay. So first off, if you have a job, guys, you should be trying to live off your job with this business. All right. Phone flipping is a business, and just like any business, it needs to be built. And you need money in order to grow a business. Without money, you can't grow a business. So you'll always be on kind of a hamster wheel if you're stealing. Like, money is the blood of a business. So robbing the money from the business, if you're spending it on your personal stuff, is like stealing, right? It's like literally stealing from the business. You have to consider the business a separate entity. So it's very important to keep all your expenses low, so that way you can live just off your job while you're doing this. Now, if you're not in that position and you don't have a job and you're depending on phone flipping in order to make it or to make money, then you're in a little bit more difficult spot than some other members. And it's okay. I've seen a lot of members here that didn't have a job, that started off with only, let's say, 50 to 100 bucks in their pocket, and then they were doing 20,000 a month in a few months. But it's going to take some serious discipline. So when I was in that position and I didn't have a lot of money, I was only making $300 a week as a carpet cleaner when I started this. So I didn't have a lot of excess or surplus cash to spend for my bills or for any personal expenses or anything like that. So in order to save money or live off that job at $300 a week, Zach says $1,200 a month. Sheesh, this isn't China. Yeah, I mean, I was barely surviving. We lived off a $30 a week grocery bill. I mean, we literally ate spaghetti every single night. We were eating Debbie cakes for lunch and spaghetti every night in order to survive. Okay, but here's the thing. You might say, well, Dave, this is really negative. What's the point of me doing this if I have to live off this low income? Well, here's the thing. Within that first month, I had $5,000 in my bank account. Okay. So this isn't a life sentence, guys, if you discipline yourself. All right. So if you do have a job, it's going to be a little easier to save the cash. Now, first of all, if you have high overhead, which means high expenses, try to do what you can to cut down those expenses right now. Okay. For anybody here that starts making money, the worst thing you can do is go buy a brand new car or go get a better apartment or start spending more money. That's the worst thing you could do. What you want to do is when you start making money is continue to live low like you were doing and continue to save. So I want to ask Taylor to come on for 1 second. Taylor is our newest phone flipping superstar. He just hit $11,000 for the month. Okay. And this is his first 29 days back in phone flipping. And he literally had no money before this month getting started. He was down to $1,000 in his bank account and built up now to how much? Taylor, can you unmute yourself for a second and tell everybody a little bit about what happened?
What's up, everybody? So basically, I went to Miami and I spent basically all of my money, and I came back with like just over $1,000 in my bank account when I usually keep I usually keep 8 to 10,000, but I dwindled down to like 3,000. Spent like all my money in Miami, came back, started phone flipping, and literally all of my money plus some of the money that I work and get have gone back into phone flipping, 100%.
So and how much did you save now your first month, Taylor, back, do you think?
Ooh, at least probably 3,000 or so.
Okay.
Like all of my profit, and my profits around like just over 3,000, I think.
Okay, and you're working a job right now part-time just to kind of keep the cash coming in. You're living off that, right? You're making about, do you mind me saying that, or how much you make?
I make about 500 to 600 a week, working about 27 to 30 hours a week.
Okay.
And I live off. I can live off because me and my fiance split our bills, so I can live off of $300 a week.
Okay, now, guys, I'm telling you this because I think it's really important for your own confidence running a business to have some guaranteed cash, especially if you're brand new in business. When you're brand new in business, there's a lot of things that are going to happen that you're not familiar with. You're going to get returns. People are going to get upset with you. Some days you're not going to get calls. There's going to be some, just some new obstacles for you. But when you have guaranteed cash flow coming in like a job, it's going to make you feel a little bit better about this business and not feel like you have to rush, because things never happen when you need them to happen. Have you ever noticed that? If you're like, I need money, I need to do this, I need to hit 10,000 a month. Nothing ever happens because we need to do it. It happens because we are patient and we do it. Does that make sense? First off, let me ask this. Is this helping you guys at all? I don't know if this, I just want to make sure this content is good. If not, we can just move on to getting leads or working on ads. But I feel like this mindset stuff is so important, and I think it's overlooked a lot in this business, and people forget how important it is to have this kind of cash flow coming in and have that mindset. Because Taylor, if you didn't have that mindset and you didn't have that pizza job right now making you that $500-600 a week, would you have been as confident to be jumping into this like you did?
No.
No, because you at least know no matter what happens, your bills are covered, right? But what happens if you don't have some guaranteed cash flow coming in? One eBay return and you start freaking out. Like, oh man, I just got a return. It was a $400 phone. Now I don't have any money. At least when you have a job, you don't have to rely on that money. And that's so good for your confidence. And you need confidence when you're going to go out and do this business. And if you have a job where you can even use some excess cash from that job to buy phones, that helps you grow even faster. Okay, so whatever excess capital you can retain to grow your business quickly, this is going to go much faster. Okay. Okay, so next thing, guys, is high profit margins. I think sometimes people just want to have numbers in this business. Okay, and it's cool being a phone flipping superstar doing 10,000 a month, and it's cool having good numbers, guys, right? But what's the most important thing for us at the end of the day? What do we all want from this business? Money and freedom, right? We want profit, okay? Money and freedom. That's why we started this business, guys, not just for the money, but remember, we're doing this, we're going through all this crap for freedom. I run, my business now has done about $960,000 this year, and I work at home, just a few hours a day doing what I love to do. But I had to sacrifice a lot in the beginning in order to get to that level. Right? So remember, there's a nice light at the end of the tunnel. There's a big carrot at the end of the stick, a reward there. But if you just have to do this for a short amount of time in order to get that, all right? But when you're first starting, guys, high profit is huge. Profit is what gets you, it's like a jump start for your business. And if you're trying to buy phones at, let's say, $140 and sell them for $200, how much profit are you making on those phones? Well, if you're buying it for $140 and trying to sell for $200, right? You're only making, let's say 200 minus 10% eBay fees is $20. That's $180. You're making a $40 profit and you're investing $140. That's not good enough. Because if anything happens, if the phone gets a bad ESN or something, or if there's an unknown issue, or if you get a return because the person, you know, is trying to beat you or something like that, or anything happens, you're going to be in trouble. $40 is not enough margin. You need profit to cover any mistakes that you make. So it's very important when you guys make offers that you're making offers that are going to be healthy. Don't feel bad about that. So when it's a $200 phone, we need to be buying that for a maximum of $90 to $100, not $130, not $150. Some members feel like they think they can get more phones by paying more. That is not usually the case. And I've tested this across the years, over 6 years. Paying more for phones doesn't necessarily mean you buy more phones. It just means you paid more for the phones. And I have tried this. I've tried being a little bit more generous and paying more, and my business went up by like 10%. But my profit margins dropped tremendously. So even though I got 10%, a little bit more in the sales volume, I lost a ton of money in profit. Which one would you guys rather have? Let's say $9,000 a month in business with $5,000 in profit, or $15,000 a month with $4,000 in profit. Which one would you guys prefer? The profit, right? In order to get high profit, one, we got to make sure that we're offering the right deals. Okay, so it's very important to watch the negotiation videos as much as possible. Make sure we're appraising the phones properly. Work on our communication skills, and make sure we're making offers that we're going to make a good profit on. Does everybody have the offer making guide? I think it's the price determining operations manual. It shows the percentage on what to offer on each phone. Chris says yes, it's a lifesaver. Guys, that guide, it helps tremendously. My employees have that taped up on the wall when they buy phones at my store. So if you don't have it, guys, it's right in the course. It's in the email I sent you when you first bought the course. So just go look at the original email. It's I believe this one right here, price determining operations manual. Let me just open this up. Okay, so this tells you exactly how to determine the price. No, this is not it. This one teaches you how to do an appraisal. I apologize. It's negotiation and pricing's operation manual. Who here has read this? It's fantastic. So guys, see right here, it tells you if a phone is $100, less than $100, offer price less than 30% of the appraised value. So it gives you exact guidelines of what to offer for every single price point. So you can feel confident that knowing you're making enough profit on each deal. Chris says, I have this price sheet on my wall. Yes, okay, good. If you guys haven't checked this out yet, make sure you read through this. It's fantastic. These are the manuals my employees are literally trained on at my store. So that's very helpful. Okay, let's get back to this next, okay? So high profit margins. Next, fast turnover. It's important, guys, that we sell phones quickly, okay? And I've seen members that say, well, you know, I want to try to leave it up to sell for an extra $5 or $10 for a few days. I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you why. And, you know, in case you're wondering, you know, if we make good profit, we're at, I think, like $19,000 for the month. Our profit margins right now, even selling things quickly, are about 50%. So, and we have, I still have, like, we just listed yesterday, like $4,000 worth of stuff on my store that hasn't sold yet. High turnover is extremely important, especially when you're new, because when you're holding on to that phone and it's on your eBay and you're trying to squeeze $5 or $10, that $5 or $10 extra you're trying to hold where your money's tied up might cost you $200 because you might have flipped 2 phones with that same amount of money. So I'll buy a phone today for 30 bucks, flip it tomorrow and sell it for, let's say, a quick sale at $90 or whatever, 80 or 90 bucks, take that same money, buy another phone and flip it in a day, and then buy that same money, flip another phone, and in 3 days I flipped 3 phones and made $300 profit, where someone was trying to use that same money to squeeze an extra $5 to $10 out of a $30 phone. Does that make sense, guys? So I don't know, what I do, guys, and I'll do this once or twice a day. I go to my listings, and if they're not sold, I just go chop the prices down 5 or 10 bucks. Like, for example, this one right here, I would chop it down another $5. Like, see, no watchers, I'll do it right now. I'm not afraid to drop my listings until they sell. Like, if it's got no watchers on it, I'm dropping that thing because it's priced too high. Eric L says, I had to learn that the hard way. Someone says, don't trip over the dollar to get the nickel. Absolutely. So watch, let's do this right now. I'll do a few listings. Like, see this one right here? 109. I'm going to drop this right down to 104. And I've already dropped my prices twice today. I don't even care. This one I dropped twice. I'm going to leave this one up because I think it had a couple watchers. Like this one, it's an excess mass. What do I care if it sells for an extra $20 less? I want to sell it. Actually, I dropped it 50 bucks today, so I'll just do $10 right now. Here's another one. I'm going to drop this one to 119. and I'll drop these down like $44.95. I want to move my stuff because you know what? We paid $8 for this phone. See this phone right here, $1129. We paid $600 for that. So what do I care? It sells $20 less. I'm still making $400 profit after fees on that. Like, oh no, right? Imagine what I could do with that $1,000 now and how many more phones we can buy. Now, fortunately, I have a pretty big cash reserve, so I don't have to worry about this, but it's a mindset thing. If I hold on to phones, then I don't flip them as fast. I don't know what it is. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, and yet if I don't flip phones, I'm not as confident buying more phones. The faster I sell them, the more I want to buy them and flip them. It's like an addiction, okay? So even if you have a lot of money, I still think it's more important to flip things quickly if you want to save your cash pool. Chris says 100% true. Tyler says, how do I get my eBay account to look like this? So I use a thing called eBay Seller Hub Pro. It's under subscription. So if you just go to your account, there should be a thing here that says account. I don't go to it much, so I forget where it is. I could probably go right up here, my eBay. Oh, where is it? They hide it. It's like a tiny little thing. If anybody knows where it is, just kind of shout it out to me. Let's see, accounts. It might be under account summary. That's why I'm not seeing it. Let me see. There we go. So account, right? So look at that. How would you like to pay $3,300 in eBay fees for the month? Some people are scared of paying eBay fees. I love it because when you're paying eBay fees, it means you're doing pretty well, right? Because that's 10% of 33,000. So what you do is you go here to subscriptions. I don't know if everybody knows this yet, but if you go to subscriptions on your account, you can add on. So I have a store, right? Because that saves you in your final value fees. And then I use Selling Manager Pro. It's called either eBay Seller Hub Pro or Selling Manager Pro. They're like, I don't know, they seem to change the name like every month. But this allows you to have that kind of overlook, and you can put in also the sales record and your listings as well. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Okay. Someone says, when should I upgrade to this kind of account? Well, I like it. I mean, it's only $15 a month. So I think, like, you know, as soon as you start making a few $100s a month, I think it's worth it. Or maybe like $1,000 a month, something like that. You know, do it at what pace you feel comfortable with, but there's not like a set thing. All right, so fast turnover. Next, let's talk about massive action. Okay, guys, nothing happens in business or life in general without a ton of action. All right, we need to do sometimes things we don't feel comfortable. You guys saw I had like kind of like a breakdown before I started this group chat, and so it was so bad I had to like restart the group chat. Right, like shit happens. It's okay. Like I'm still alive. You guys forgive me. We're all good. It doesn't matter. When I say breakdown too, I wasn't like mean, but I like kind of froze up. So like, don't be afraid to go out there and just start plastering ads everywhere. Some people are afraid, like if they start plastering ads, that they're not going to be able to buy enough phones, or people are going to flag their ads, or you know, like they won't have enough money to buy the phones. Who cares? Stuff is going to happen. But if you don't take any action, what I can guarantee is that nothing's going to happen. Okay, right? So like, yes, I'm very nervous about the speech on Friday. And by the way, I didn't plan this on just to make an example out of it. It just happened. But I figured, like, you know, I got to eventually grow and I got to give this speech. So yes, I'm nervous and I don't want to do it. But at the end of the day, because I'm taking action, it's going to lead to something else. And it's going to help me get over my fears. And that's it. We just got to take action. So with the ads, don't just do a few ads on Craigslist and say, well, I got 5 ads on Craigslist. Let's see what happens. That is not going to get you guys any business, or very little business, if that makes sense. Okay. You've got to take massive action if you want to grow quickly. Most people don't even make 5,000 in a month. So to save 5,000, not to make 5,000, but to actually save 5,000 in your bank account is going to take some work. All right. Joseph says, where do I find the course materials? I put most of them in my iCloud Files account. I'm missing some of the materials though. Joseph, so just go to the members group. Okay. And if you go to the files section, the course files should be right in there for you, okay? And if that negotiation manual is not in there, then I'll go ahead and upload it later on. But you can also look through your email for the course when you got it. Okay, let me get back to this now. All right, so what is massive action with ads? One, is, first of all, you want to get your Craigslist ads up quickly. Now, I noticed there's some members that are struggling with Craigslist. Some are getting their ads flagged a lot, which if you watch the Craigslist videos, those will help you with that. However, you don't want to rely your business on one platform, okay? I think that's a big mistake. So, you know, if you look at most big businesses, do you see them only advertising in one spot? No, you'll see them advertising everywhere. You'll see them on YouTube. You'll see them on billboards. You'll see them on television. You'll see them in Facebook ads. You'll see them like on restaurants. You'll see them in subway stations. You'll see them everywhere. And why do you think these companies are worth millions and millions of dollars? Because they're not trying to run a business without advertising. They understand that advertising drives traffic. Advertising brings the customer in. So if you're not advertising as much as you possibly can, then you don't have a business, okay? Where do we advertise in this business? We advertise on Craigslist, on Facebook groups, on apps, on Marketplace. So if you're not posting in every one of those every single day, then you're missing out on a good chunk of the pie. So let me ask you guys this. How many people here are utilizing all platforms they possibly could be in order to make more money in this business or to grow their business quicker? Give me an honest answer, guys. Tell me what platforms you guys are using. Let's take a look and see. So June says me. Okay, all right, June, way to go. George says marketing. Joseph says I need to hit up more platforms. Chris says I was, but slacking the last week. Eric said I could do more. So what I recommend, guys, just as long as your consistency, you don't have to go crazy. It's 3 Craigslist ads a day. Post in 5 to 10 Facebook groups, or just 5 Facebook groups if you can. 1 ad on Facebook Marketplace, 1 ad on LetGo, 1 ad on OfferUp. Just post 1 ad each day across all platforms. It probably should take you maybe 20, 25 minutes. But that 25 minutes is where you make all your money for the day, right? Let me ask this. How many people here are going to buy a bunch of phones tomorrow with no leads? Anybody? The only people that will are the people that have established businesses already and built relationships with customers and handed out their business card. But if you don't have that, there's no way you can do 5,000, build up to 5,000 cash your first month without advertising. You need advertising. Now, that's not everything. It's not the end all be all, but you do need to do it to get the leads coming in like crazy. Okay? So if you're not good at it, there's videos in the course for each one of these things, for LetGo, for the Marketplace. Just watch them. And if you're a little confused, sometimes this stuff can be very intimidating. Sometimes you do get flagged. Sometimes you get haters on your ads. First of all, that's okay. Nothing's going to happen. You're not doing anything wrong when all that stuff happens. It just means you just got to figure out how to fix it. And second of all, there's nothing wrong with having to watch the videos 1 or 2 times in order to understand something, okay? So if you didn't understand it the first time, or maybe you did understand it, but you only understood it from your zone of awareness at that point, right? So see, what happens is, anybody ever here watch the course videos, then you took action, and then you watched the course videos a second time, and there was a whole bunch of stuff you would not even realize that you learned the second time because you were at a new level of awareness, right? Eric says yes. Chris says yes. Most of the phone flipping superstars, the people who have done 10,000 a month, have kind of had these epiphanies. So if you've only watched the course videos 1 time on a certain topic and you're struggling, go back and watch them a second time and see if you can pick up some new stuff with them. And I bet Tyra says yes, that happened to me today. Awesome. I bet you may pick up just a couple little tips that's light bulb goes off and boom. This actually happened to Remy, I believe. Remy, when he first started, was really struggling. There's a course member named Remy, and he was having a real hard time with his Craigslist ads. I told him to go back and watch the Ultimate Guide to Craigslist, the group chat we had in the course. And Remy did $8,000 his first month just using Craigslist ads. So he had to go back and watch the course videos, okay? So massive ad promotion. Don't forget about how important it is to just be advertising like crazy. Now, Tyler brought up a great point in our interview today. Tyler, could you just really quick unmute yourself if you don't mind and just say, there were some days where Tyler wouldn't get any phones at all. But yet, what did you still do, Tyler, even on those, or Taylor, I'm sorry, Taylor, what did you still do on those days, even when you didn't get ad calls?
Post more ads or try to reach out to people.
Yep. So no matter what, Taylor still was posting on ads, even like he was, what would happen? You didn't get calls, you were just getting like bad leads, or what happened?
Like bad leads, like a bunch of. I don't even like to call people bad leads because I feel like that will make you make more excuses in the long run.
I
But
agree.
like a bunch of like iPhone 4s, broken iPhone 4s, broken iPhone 5s, nothing that you can make a lot of money on, and sometimes just no leads at all. So like what I would do, one, post more ads. Two, reach out, like try to like look for phones, find a deal. And then three, reach out to people that you lost in a negotiation, have bought something from before, and following back up with people in the past as well.
So sticking to the ads, being consistent, no matter how it goes, right? Because sometimes I have seen in the past where sometimes I'll see some members that, they get frustrated. Things aren't coming in, and they start panicking because they're not getting any calls. But it's just like that in this business sometimes, right? Where sometimes you might not get any phones for 2 days, no matter how many ads you have, and then all of a sudden you get 10 phones the next day. Have you ever had that happen to you, Taylor?
Yeah, this last week on Sunday. Well, I mean, I picked up a couple phones before that, but I burned through. So by the end, because I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, by the end of Saturday, because I can't respond to a lot of leads, I burned through 50 leads, to get 7 phones. So, I mean, that's a lot of leads to burn through. So that's another thing. You have, like, even if you get a bunch of leads and everyone's saying no, that one no is getting you closer to a yes. So like,
Absolutely.
if you're getting discouraged by even like not getting leads, but people by saying no, you got 20 no's, like that 20th no, you might get 5 more, and then you get a 10S max or something. You never know. So I honestly get more pumped when someone tells me no, and I'm like, all right, let's find another one. So
I've had plenty of times, when I was taking the calls myself, is that like you get 20 leads and you might get 1 or 2 phones out of that, but then the next day you get like the phone's dead. You get 5 calls, but every single one of them sells you their phone. Have you ever experienced that?
yeah, yep.
Yep. So guys, when you start off this business, if you are new, right, don't be discouraged when you start posting some ads and you don't get calls that day, because you might have started posting on one of those off days, right? It's crazy. You can post 10, 15, 20 ads on Craigslist, Facebook groups, apps, but if you only judge how it worked on one day, you're never going to know if that was the day. Like, I mean, we have 80 ads on Craigslist, and there's some days we don't buy phones in all 3 of my stores. And we have like 85 ads on Craigslist, 10 Facebook group posts. We're doing paid ads. And sometimes there's some days just like things are just dead in business. I mean, even Disney World has dead days. It just happens, right? But that doesn't mean it's not working, because, I mean, there's been days where it'll be dead, and then the third day we buy 20 phones. I've literally bought 25 phones in a day before. And that makes up for 3 days worth of business, right?
Oh.
So the key is to always be there, though, when that wave comes in. Because if you get frustrated and you quit, or you give up, or you get demotivated because 2 days you haven't bought a phone, you're going to miss out when the rain comes down and it's raining phones. You're going to miss out on that opportunity, right? Can anybody relate to this? Has anybody experienced this phenomenon or how it works in phone flipping before or in business?
And another thing too, being consistent, posting every day, your ads actually compound on each other. The more ads you have up, some of my older ads, every time I post a new ad, sometimes my older ads get me even more leads.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's don't stop. Like, if you're not getting leads, don't stop. Just keep posting, because eventually you get those 50, 80 ads up, and all of a sudden, like, your 5 leads a day turn into like 30 leads a day. Not consistently, but it all adds up.
The last thing, June says, I don't get upset. I have already 2 people told me no, come back and sold me their phone. Now, I love that, June. Thank you for mentioning that too, because that's another thing that happens is sometimes you can negotiate perfectly and they'll still say no, but as long as you're nice, they'll come back and they will sell you their phone. And I've had that happen. Now, of course, we want to try to get it that day, but we can get a lot of people to come back. So, like, we had a bunch of people. It was weird. Like Thursday, we weren't getting a lot of phones. Friday, And Amy was like, everybody keeps telling me they're going to come back this weekend. Now, she thought they were BSing. But then, like, on Saturday, we bought 12 phones. So they weren't kidding. You know, we literally bought 12 phones on Saturday. So I guess they did come back. So sometimes that does happen. You know, we do want to negotiate the best we can, but worst case scenario, we always want to keep that door open so we can get more business. Last but not least is upselling, guys. Now, notice I haven't talked about repeat customers at all because I want to help you guys that were brand new, that don't have any repeat business, that give you this rocket fuel guide to get started very quickly. And if you want to really maximize your sales right now, the best thing you can do is to any leads that you close. If you get just one phone from them, try to upsell them anything else you can. What I mean by upselling is, do they have any other phones? Do they have cracked phones? Does any of their family members have any phones? Do they have any laptops for sale? Do they have any cameras? Like, really ask them this like you believe it. Like, for example, Taylor, if you don't mind, sorry, I appreciate you helping me out, by the way. This is very helpful. But if I just bought a phone from Taylor, I would say something like, Taylor, so thank you again for the phone. I really appreciate the business. And I'm getting into this and I'm trying to grow really quickly. Do you happen to have like any other items that you'd like to sell? I'd be happy to put more cash in your pocket. I also buy laptops. I buy MacBooks, tablets, iPods, iPads, pretty much anything I could ship that has some resale value. Do you have anything like that?
Do you buy smartwatches?
Yes, actually I do.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I got an Apple 3 series.
Okay, fantastic. Why don't you, well, now if he was on the phone with me, I would just ask him to bring that along so I could just kind of check it out there because that's better. You don't want to praise on the phone the second item. You want to just tell him to bring it down. So yeah, Taylor, why don't you bring that down and I'll be happy to put some cash in your pocket if you like the price with that. Does that sound good?
Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Awesome. Now, if he was right in front of me and I did the deal, I would say, okay, this is what I can give you for it. I give you, $80, whatever it is, the price for it. And we're going to do a negotiation right there on the spot. Now, here's another technique I'll use to upsell. I'm going to ask him for referrals right there. I'm going to say, Taylor, do you know anybody else that wants to sell their phone? Do you have any family members, anybody else that might have some stuff or electronics to sell?
Oh, yeah, my parents just upgraded to some new phones, and they got 2 phones that they're not using anymore.
Awesome. I would really appreciate it, Taylor, if you would be willing to maybe give him my card and have him give me a call. Or I could if you want to call him right now, I'd be happy to give him a price on it.
I'll get your card and I'll tell him to get a hold of you. Do I get a little referral bonus for that?
Do you have anything else to sell?
No, I don't.
I was going to say, if you have something else to sell with them, I could give you a little extra cash on that.
Okay. I understand. You're a pretty cool guy, so I'll give him your card.
All right. I really appreciate that, Taylor. Thank you very much. Now,
Yeah.
see, I don't really like to bribe people too much because it leads, I don't think you need to. I think if you run a good business, guys, nobody needs to be paid to refer you. And I'm sure we can all agree on that, right? When a business does a great job, what do you want to do? You want to tell people about it. So don't be afraid. When you do a good job and you want a nice, ask for more business from people. This is how you can double your sales without even worrying about your ads. Like, if your major worries are your ads aren't sticking, you're not getting calls on your ads, that tells me you're not working your customers hard enough to get deals. Because if you are, you should be able to get enough business just from the people that you're selling to already, rather than trying to maximize your ads and all that stuff. Now, that's good. You want to do everything, but don't forget about the people right in front of you. They're sometimes your best source of deals. And here's the cool part. Once someone sells you one thing, guess what? Do you think they negotiate harder on the second, or do they let it go cheaper?
No. I just got on Thursday, or was it Friday? I got 2 phones from someone that was a referral. I got an iPhone 8 and a LG V30, both for $260.
Bam.
In good working condition. So the first offer, he said, okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So guys, because they already like you, they trust you, they know you, so they're gonna give you that stuff easier than some guy on Craigslist that they're gonna call. Lawrence says, Joe, why don't you teach your wife to post you? Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it as far as this guide, guys. Was this helpful to you? Did anybody learn some stuff from this? I know it's not specifics like negotiation and ad posting, but I think the mindset is even more important than the ads, because I've got all the videos in the course. You know, it teaches you specifically what to do. But if you don't know how to implement them, or if you don't know the strategy, then you won't be able to post all these ads. Or even worse, you might be afraid to do it, or Lawrence is exactly what I needed today. Okay, awesome. Excellent. Does anybody have any questions for me on this stuff? Will says, do you hold the price longer when you have watchers? No. If it doesn't sell that day, next day I'm dropping that thing. I don't even pay attention to the watchers that much. I'll just drop it faster if I have no watchers. I'll drop it 2-3 times in a day sometimes. Joseph says, what does Amy do to help with Dave? Amy posts all my Craigslist ads for me in the Facebook group posts. Lawrence says, does your seller account help flip your listings faster? You mean like my, you know, guys, I once had my eBay account for like, this was a few years ago. I kind of neglected it. I was traveling a lot. I was just getting this course started, and I didn't answer messages as fast as I should be. Let's put it that way. And I got below eBay seller standards, and I was at risk of them suspending my account. So what I did was I had a backup eBay account with 0 feedback, and I started selling on that and just left the other account alone so it could heal, right? And I could just get some positive feedback and not risk it anymore. And then I worked really hard, like getting good feedback on that one. And I built that 0 account up like that. Like the sales didn't even flinch. They didn't skip a beat as far as how fast the sales were, even with 0 feedback. So as long as, guys, you price your listings correctly, they're usually going to sell just as fast as a mature account. It really is not that important. Believe it or not, the feedback, I used to always think feedback made a big difference with the sales. I mean, now that we're running a lot of business and stuff, the more business you do, the harder it is to keep impeccable feedback. You know, we're at like 98% or something like that, which before I used to dread, but it hasn't affected my sales at all. I mean, I sell more on eBay than I ever did before. Eric says, especially for phones. Yeah. Yeah. It's Martin says, I have a Galaxy S phone, has a 17-digit IMEI, doesn't register on any search site. No error message, just blank. What's with that? So yours, I'm not sure if you have the extra digit. I forget how many digits are supposed to be in an IMEI. I apologize. You might have an MEID, which means it's 1 digit less than the IMEI. So that, Eric says 15. Okay, so if it's 2 digits more, that seems a little strange. I'm not sure why that is. It could be it's an international phone. I don't know if that's the case, or it could be a fake phone. So just be careful with that. I have to be honest, Martin, I'm not sure without looking at that phone and seeing everything to be able to answer that question for you just through a comment. It's kind of difficult. Does anybody else have a question? Zach says about that hug. All right. If that's it, I'll go ahead and wrap it up for you guys today. If there's any other questions that you have, feel free to let me know. I can open up for another 5 minutes. If not, then that, I guess, is pretty much it. Hope you guys all found this helpful. Kevin says, where's the Dave Kosciuszko merch? I don't have anything right now. I have no merchandise at the moment to sell, but you can buy iPhone parts from me at the moment. Oh, June says, hey, David. Yes, you can go ahead and ask questions. Zach says, can we ask Taylor questions? Well, Zach, I don't know if you're busting or if you're serious. Jesus says, David, I'm scared to buy other electronics. No. Eric says, is the 10 rules course still available? Yes, it is, Eric. I'll put a link in there if you still want that. That's my course on decision-making skills that helped me grow $1 million business. I'll put a link in the chat for you. So if you're scared to buy other electronics, guys, just remember, you don't need to know everything. Like Martin just asked me a question. I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years. I'm not a technical genius. I didn't know the answer to that question, to be perfectly honest. We can't know everything, right? So, if you're afraid to buy stuff, all you need to know is what that thing is worth. Okay. You can give me any random electronic and I could appraise it by just taking the model number, going to eBay and doing a search for that thing. Like, for example, let's look at my Amazon Echo speaker. I can't, it's tied up. There we go. This is my Alexa right here. Let me see if this has got a model number. It's EJA L-2338. Let's look this up on eBay really quick. Now, I know it's called an Amazon Echo, but just to prove a point, let's try searching by the model number and see. L-2338. Boom, look at that. Now, this is an Echo Dot. This is not an Echo Dot. So let me make sure I read that right. The lighting's a little tough here. EJL, yeah, 2338. Let me look at sold listings. So the thing is, that might not be the model number. So, okay, it looks like that's not the model number. That's just some serial number or something, or code. Or maybe it's just an L-238. Let's just try that. Maybe it's not EJ because there's a space there. Okay, it's not that either. So in this situation, we can just look it up by the name. It's called an Amazon Echo. Let's try that. Let me see if there's any other identifying things on this. I'm just going to use my flashlight. No, that's it. Just an Amazon Echo. So I'll just have to appraise by the name. All right. So we look up Amazon Echo. Now, whether you know what this thing does or not, right? You know it's an electronic. You know that they're all going to be the same. If it's an Amazon Echo, it's an Amazon Echo. They're all the same, right? So this is selling brand new for 60. Used, it looks like around 50 bucks. This is obviously different. It looks different. That's called an Echo Dot. Amazon Echo. So I don't need to know anything about this, right? Now, I love my Amazon Echo, by the way. If you don't have an Alexa, these things are awesome. But if you don't know anything about it, it doesn't matter. All you need to know is what it's going to sell for and the fact that this little thing will ship in a padded flat rate envelope, which will cost you about $6. Just wrap it with some bubble wrap and you'll be good to ship it. That's it. Okay. One more thing, when you're buying stuff you don't know about, if it's electronic, just if you can restore it, if there's an option to restore, just make sure to restore it. That's all, and you're safe. Jesus says, what if they don't know how to find the model number? You just ask them these questions. You've got to be a little bit of a detective on the phone, Jesus, when you're buying stuff. You know, if they're like, oh, I don't have a model number. You know, look on the bottom. Is there any type of like markings? Is there any number there? Like just like I did right there. I don't know there was a model number on there. Obviously, I find it's not. It's just an Amazon Echo. So you have to. There's no clear-cut strategy for everything, guys. You just gotta have to have a little bit of kind of like, you know, detective work or common sense, and just kind of go by trial and error. Well, let's start off. Is there any kind of numbers or letters on the bottom of the computer or the camera? Is there a name? What does it have? And just start doing eBay searches on that. You'll find it. Someone says, any ideas on lowering overhead? I did miss the 20 minutes. I'll have to check the beginning. We did go over a lot of stuff in the beginning. If you have a specific question on lowering overhead, I can try to help you with that. Zach says a more in-depth walkthrough of 6W would be cool. So Zach, did you watch the video that I showed me breaking down each part of 6W? And it's in the by the way, guys, if you haven't checked this out, there's a new frequently asked questions. I put all the commonly asked questions that course members have in this pinned post in the group. And it's great. It answers all your questions about like how to check the IMEIs, what to do about eBay returns, different problems, what about laptops, all kinds of stuff. This thing is gold right here. And if you're brand new to the course, you could almost skip the course and just read this FAQ. Other than posting ads, it's very, very helpful for mostly commonly asked questions. So if you haven't checked this out yet, I highly recommend making sure you check out this FAQ. And I also upload it in a file to the group as well. So just go ahead and download that in the group. Zach says, I'm just slow. Well, you're not slow. You just didn't know it was there. Or let's see. Robert says, should I take some Craigslist ads down when I go on vacations if I don't have anyone else to keep with my calls? No, guys, never take your Craigslist ads down because sometimes they might not ever go back up. Because what happens is Craigslist remembers the style of the ad that you post. And once you remove that, someone else can kind of steal that style. And then Craigslist kind of gives them priority. See, nobody can post ads like yours if they've been up for a little bit. But once you take them down, then someone has like free range on that territory and they can post ads like yours and take them over. And then when you try to post them again, you may get flagged. So just let them call and, you know, put a little message on the on your phone, an autoresponder that says, hey, I'm really sorry, away from the call, away from the phone right now, but I will get back to you as soon as possible. And have them like send them a message saying, or I'm away on vacation, I apologize, I'll be back tomorrow, be happy to purchase your phone. Something that is professional, that shows at least people you care. That should probably help. I don't know if anybody's using an autoresponder, but it's called Auto SMS, is great. Tyler says, laptops I'm finding hard to appraise. So there's a lot of group chats I have on appraising laptops, and there's stuff on the course on appraising laptops. There's should be videos in the course about that. Laptops, you got to always buy lower. Don't buy for the same margins as phones, laptops. Always go a little bit lower because there's going to be a little bit more error with laptops. And it's a little harder to find comparables. So always go on the low end. All right. It's better safe than sorry with computers. Jesus says, in your opinion, how much money should someone have to save to start this business full time? I don't recommend anybody doing this full time until you have about $10,000 in your account. Like, I wouldn't quit your job, put it this way. Like, if you don't have a job and you're doing this, then okay, you didn't have anything to lose. But if you have a job and it's paying you decent money, I really wouldn't recommend quitting that unless you've done the math and you know you're going to make more doing this full-time phone flipping and you have that $10,000 as a cushion. And I also, if you're going to leave your job for this, I think multiple streams of income is really important in business. So I would suggest not just doing phone flipping, but also iPhone repairs as a way to supplement that. Because that way, when phone flipping is slow, you're going to get those repair calls coming in. Lauren says, when are you going to accept my friend's request? I'll look it up after this group chat. Guys, I apologize. If you try to send me a friend's request and I haven't accepted it, it isn't that I don't want to be your friend. It's that Facebook only allows me to accept so many friends requests, and I'm maxed out. So I can't accept a lot of friends requests. I apologize. You can follow me on Facebook, and I'll know you're in the group. Don't feel like we have to be officially friends on Facebook for me to like you. We can say, it isn't a personal thing if you send me a friend's request and I didn't accept it. Okay, guys? So just don't feel bad about that. Joseph says, we also have a car payment my wife drives for Lyft. I mean, a car payment is something I try to avoid if you don't have a lot of cash. I don't think anybody should be borrowing money for a car if you don't have at least $5,000 to $10,000 in the bank. I did $500,000 in sales on eBay in 2 years with a station wagon, a Saturn station wagon that I paid $1,700 for. And that thing lasted me 4 years, and I owned it outright. And even though I had $60,000 in the bank, I was still driving around a $1,700 car because it worked. So why spend money I didn't need to, right? So I think that's, keeping overhead low is important. Someone says, that's why I want to own a shop and be legitimate eventually full-time. Yeah, definitely, guys. I think, once you get started in this business, you do want to start, this is good starting practice to be a legitimate business person. You're learning customer service. You're learning negotiation, money management. But then you can start taking it to the next level. Eric says, you say we should spend below our means. Should we buy books and learning material? Yes, I think it's good to spend a portion of your income on learning material because that helps you grow, the stuff that you learn in the courses. But don't spend, if you have $2,000 in your bank account, don't go buy $1,000 course and spend 50% of your money. I don't think that's an intelligent decision. I would, if you have 5,000, I would say that's okay, but I wouldn't spend 50% or something, But if you've got, a couple thousand in the bank account and you buy a few $20 books, that's, probably pretty smart. It's going to help you grow. You need to give yourself some knowledge, right? Jesus says, do you think this business and also flipping houses like what Jake does for a living? Do you think doing this business at all? Yeah, you can do both. You can graduate. Like once you get good at flipping phones, then you can go into flipping houses. I think that's a good move, Once you practice and you get, like, if you want to feel comfortable practicing flipping phones and then move on to something bigger, sure. Joseph says, I set up a partnership with a cell phone shop to allow drop off and pickup for, oh, great. That was a smart idea, Joseph. Good job. I like that idea. Robert says, when I refresh an old Craigslist ad, is it more likely to be flagged? Not usually. Just don't refresh like 10 ads at once, or like even 6 or 7 ads. Try to minimize it to like 4 or 5 refreshes. A repost counts as posting an ad, so that's different. If it's just a renew, that you can renew 5 or 6 ads pretty safely. But posting ads, try to stick to a maximum of 3 across all your accounts to be safe. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and move on, guys. Was this group chat helpful for you guys today? Did you feel like you're ready to get excited and get some results now after seeing this? And if you could tell me one of the top things that you learned from this stuff because I'm trying to give you guys fresh content as much as I can. I know sometimes it gets boring to hear the same stuff over and over, so I try to come up with new things to kind of inspire you guys with. Kevin says you like the mindset. And by the way, thank you guys to everybody in the sport for my major botch in the beginning. I appreciate you guys always being kind and supporting me and helping me out through that. So thank you guys. And thanks for the encouragement. I am nervous on Friday, so this means a lot for me to hear you guys, supporting me. I greatly appreciate that. So hopefully that all goes well. It kicks some butt and, get some more people selling on eBay. And he just says, love the mindset. It really helps me. The mindset. Kurt says, upsell. Good. Sean says, staying positive during the downtimes. I like that. Kevin says, will Amy be on stage with me? No, unfortunately, I was really hoping she was when I signed up, but we are unable to get a babysitter. Didn't want to take our daughter out of school for 5 days. So unfortunately, she's staying home with my daughter while I go speak, which I'm not thrilled about, but there's nothing we can do. My mother's going to be in Florida for that time, so we didn't have a babysitter. Jesus says, will it be recorded? No, this is not my event that I'm speaking at. It's called Ecom Chicago. I don't own the event. I was just invited as a guest speaker. So I guess they're not recording. I asked about that, and then I guess other speakers there don't want the event recorded, so they're not recording it. I apologize, guys. So if you can come see me in person, that's cool. If not, sorry, unfortunately. Jose says, learned and realized this business has such a huge upside, plus learning valuable life skills in the process. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Dave. Thanks, Jose. That was great. Appreciate it. George says, what time on Friday? I'm actually the first speaker at the event, so I'll be speaking at like 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Kevin says, is there more entrepreneurs there? Yeah, there's going to be all entrepreneurs. It's all Amazon, eBay sellers, and things like that. Yeah. Pretty cool people there, actually. All right. You guys have a great day. Thank you again. Appreciate it. And good luck this week. I'll see you guys next week.